Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents Scents. Hope that you're doing well. Today I got for you 10 different fragrances that'll have you smelling great. Fragrances that tick pretty much all the boxes. They have projection, they have longevity, they got mass appeal, compliment factor, all of that they do. They're confidence boosters, they're compliment pullers, that type of scent. And by and large, these are going to be fragrances that are more on the warm, sweet side of the spectrum. All of them are going to be linked in the description. Feel free to check them out down there. We're going to check out a fragrance that is cool to hate. Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum. Oh, I lined it up straight, nice. Sauvage, ever since the first one, the Eau de Toilette has been a fragrance line that people love to hate on, and it's because it's extremely popular. You can't go anywhere without smelling this stuff. And that's how it goes. If you have something that's really popular, whether it's a product or a sports team or a musician or whatever, it's going to welcome in a lot of that criticism, right? And that's what's going on here. Sauvage Eau de Parfum though, if you're looking for something that has great projection and longevity, that gets compliments that you can wear just about anywhere, it will crush at that. It has bergamot, Sichuan pepper, lavender, and ambroxan along with vanilla as well. It has a nice spicy woodiness, but then sweetness as well that helps balance everything out. It doesn't come across overly youthful or anything. Just about anybody can wear this stuff. And as I said, if you're looking for something that just does everything, that's this. And I would much rather have Sauvage Eau de Parfum than Eau Forte. So that counts for something. I don't know what, but it counts for something. Before we hop to the next fragrance, guys, here are some codes you can use to save yourself money across a multitude of different websites. The newest codes are the JOMASHOP codes, which only work in the JOMASHOP app. Do keep that in mind. And also the Oud store. And you know what other fragrances tick all the boxes? Definitely mine. I'm not biased. I'm definitely not biased. See, that's when you tell the lie, but you cross. You remember that in like elementary school? So Terra Nova, Jet Black Enigma, West Loop, Edgewater, South Slope, and I'm working on 2 more right now. Those fragrances you can find at every fragrance outlet and every Perfumania store in the country if you're in the US. Or you can find them at Michael Moll's website, linked in the description below with more codes. Let's go to another fragrance. We did Sauvage, what if we do Y also? This is Y Le Parfum. Now you could go with Y Eau de Parfum, you could go with Y Live. Honestly, you could go with most of the Y fragrances. It's another fragrance line that was made to be worn, made to be purchased and repurchased by people that love the fragrance. And the reason they would be repurchased is because of how they work. Last a long time, project heavily, get compliments. If you do that, if you do those 3 things, you're gonna sell a lot of stuff. So Y Le Parfum, this is similar to Y Eau de Parfum, but a little bit more elegant, a little bit more sophisticated, touch more aromatic, but it still has a nice sweet aspect to it. So you have apple off the top right away, grabs attention, smells great. You also have ginger in there, grapefruit, adds a nice zingy aspect to the opening. And as I said, it's a little bit more elegant than the Eau de Parfum version. The sweetness is not quite as aggressive here, but it's still there. The aromatics in there, sage, geranium, lavender, as it dries down, gives it a nice masculine, clean scent profile to go along with that sweetness. Really good performance, lasts a long time, projects very well. It is a great release. It's pricey, it ain't cheap. Actually, a number of these at full retail are a little bit more on the expensive side in terms of designers, but you get what you pay for. Stuff smells awesome. And of course, you could save a little money by shopping at a discounter if you wanted to for any of these. Next up, we have Guerlain Vetiver. This is the new Parfum edition. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys, if you are younger, so you're like, I don't know, mid-20s and under, honestly, probably early 30s and under, you're probably not going to appreciate this one quite as much. And vetiver, as a note, as a focal point of a fragrance, is something that doesn't work for everybody. It can come across a bunch of different ways. It can come across grassy, it can come across dry, woody, a little smoky, a lot of different types of vetiver, types to use vetiver, or ways to use vetiver, I should have said. Oof, this is good. This is real good. Now, to be fair, I'm a little bit of a vetiver junkie. Oh, I like it. I like it in any way that it is presented. I'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. This one obviously is very vetiver forward. It is the name after all. And in the Parfum edition, they have like a little gin aspect to the fragrance. They, with the new Parfum editions, based all of them, the Guerlain Parfum editions, on a little bit of a boozy aspect, like Amaretto, for example, in L'Homme Ideal Parfum. This one is a deep, rich, woody vetiver fragrance with a little bit of a smoky aspect to it as well. Fantastic smelling stuff. It is, like I said, a little pricey, but this is worth it. I think it's top notch if you're a fan of the Guerlain vetiver line or just vetiver in general. From there, we're gonna hop over to this one, just an absolute beauty. Scandal Absolu from Jean Paul Gaultier. I think that this is the best Scandal fragrance for men released so far. And I've actually been like a little bit of a cheerleader for the Scandal line for men. I think it gets overlooked a lot of times. And because it has this little aromatic touch to it, sometimes people will just automatically write it off and be like, oh, it sucks. But in actuality, that stuff in the air, fantastic. Big compliment puller. And Absolu, the best. This stuff is just really super nice. And it grows on you and grows on you the more you wear it, which is amazing because right off the top, you know, right away, it smells great. And you would think, oh, how can it get better? It does. So this one is very rich, warm, sweet, has a nice nutty aspect to the fragrance. It has Mirabelle Plum in there, which gives you an interesting opening. Like blending together the Scandal line with 1 Million Lucky and bits of Stronger With You, it crushes in cool weather. In the air, this stuff is just absolutely magnetic. And I think that this is absolutely worth the price full retail. If you get it for anything under full retail, it's a steal just because it is that solid. Love Scandal Absolu. This is great. I think pretty comfortably that's going to be one of the best designer releases of this year. And you know, the further into the year we get, the more I'm like, I'm probably going to be up in the top 3. We'll see, but that wouldn't surprise me a bit. Let's go next to Moncler Sunrise. And this is a fragrance that smells a little bit like a combo. And when I say a combo, I'm not talking about the pretzel snack combo. That would be kind of weird. I mean, a combination of popular fragrances, a little bit like that. And I should say that this is Sunrise Pour Homme, because there is a ladies version, but if you get the one that is colored like this bottle is, then that would be the one you're after. So what does it smell like if it's a little bit of a combination, a little bit of a combo? Well, it is a little bit like you take bits of Sauvage and mix it with bits of Aventus, or an Aventus style fragrance. Now that being said, it's not ultra close to either of those. I don't smell this and think, oh, that's Sauvage. I don't think that. I also don't smell this and think, oh, that's Hasselblad, or that's Aventus, or that's Explorer, whatever. But there are pieces of those scent profiles in here. There's bergamot, pink pepper, sage, suede leather as some of the notes in the scent, along with vetiver and incense. And there was also just a big strike of lightning and thunder. Don't know if you heard that, probably not. You don't want to see what's going on over there, guys. It's a whole thing. It's not good. It's not overly sweet. It's nice, aromatic, very classy, elegant, easy to use. It's completely under the radar, at least in the US. Like, not too many people out there rocking their Moncler Sunrise Pour Homme. So it does a lot of things well. It gives you something you can use anytime, something that is a compliment puller, something that has pretty solid performance, that has some similarities to other very popular things out there without actually smelling like them, and nobody's really wearing it. So put all that together, it's a great sleeper fragrance. This next one is insane in the air. It smells so good, it makes me compliment myself. It's Valentino Uomo Born in Roma Intense. The Born in Roma line had already started to win me over by the time this one came out, because Coral Fantasy and then revisiting Yellow Dream, I was like, well, it's a little better than what I initially felt toward that fragrance. But the floodgates opened when this came out. I was just like, oh, Born in Roma, you look really nice. I just Jeremy fragranced. It just has a perfectly balanced sweetness. When you smell it in the air, it just, to me, could not be done any better for this type of fragrance. It's not too sweet, so you don't feel like, ugh, you know, too sugary, too synthetic, too salting, none of that. It's just right on. A little bit of woodiness underneath it helps balance it, helps ground it. It has great performance, massive compliment puller. That's one that you will wear and just try to make it where you catch whiffs. You'll be like, oh, there it is. Nice. After that, Invictus Victory Elixir. This is one of the best vanilla forward fragrances on the market, and there are a bunch of vanilla forward fragrances on the market right now. There's a bunch. So this has vanilla, tonka, some lavender, incense, among other notes. It has this great, zingy, sparkling vanilla. Oh, legit, guys. These fragrances from last year, like these two and Le Male Elixir, just like, that's 2023 at the top end. Like the best fragrances from last year were just absolutely perfect. Now this one is reminiscent of a bunch of different fragrances kind of put together. So a little bit of Le Beau Le Parfum. Of course, a bit of Invictus Victory, the one that came out before this one. 1 Million Elixir, also by Paco Rabanne. Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal, Bad Boy Extreme, Paco Rabanne Pure Excess. Like legitimately, like 6, 7, 8 fragrances that don't even smell super similar to each other, put together somehow, and this is what you get. That's kind of how it comes across. I think it is just absolutely stunning. This stuff is fantastic. And if you hate Invictus and you haven't smelled Invictus Victory or Victory Elixir, check them out, because they don't really smell like the Invictus DNA. Let's class it up a bit with Gentleman Boisé from Givenchy. And I thought about a lot of different ones from this line. I was like, well, Reserve Privé, of course, awesome. Eau de Toilette, Intense, even the New Society ones, but I decided on this one. So this has iris, cacao, black pepper, some woody notes in there as well, of course. And like the line in general, really classy, elegant, sophisticated, something you could wear very easily to more formal events, formal occasions. It's a fragrance you could wear just about year round, other than probably summertime. Middle of summer, I'd go for something else, because this does have a good dose of woodiness mixing with that chocolate, that cacao, and the creamy iris. If you hate iris fragrances, and I get it, I've spoken to a number of people that don't really dig iris as a note, I would still try to check out some of the ones from this line, because they do offer a number of different fragrances in different styles that still use the iris really prominently. Maybe you'll find something that works out for you. So we're gonna go with this, absolutely killer. After that, Stronger With You Tobacco. Oof, also really good. Only issue with this one is the same issue that you're gonna find with any of these exclusive editions. It's an exclusive edition, which means not always the easiest to find, especially if you're looking for it for a good price. So this has that Stronger With You DNA, chestnut, vanilla, you know, that gourmand, sweet, nutty aspect. It also has tobacco, as you would expect, and I think cinnamon leaf, one of the notes in this one. A good amount of spiciness in there off the top, which is not a huge surprise, but it can catch your attention when you first spray it on. And what really helps set this one apart for me compared to the other Stronger With You fragrances, because all the Stronger With You fragrances for the most part are woven together pretty well to where when you smell one of them, you know right away, oh, it's Stronger With You. Even if you don't maybe know immediately which one it is from memory, you'll still be like, oh, Stronger With You. But this one has a smoky aspect that wafts through pretty much immediately. Not overwhelming, but it is noticeable. That's obviously going to be part of the tobacco accord that they use in here, but that is pretty prominent and captures your attention along with those spices, that sweetness, that gourmand touch that it has. Perfect for fall and winter time. Around the holiday season, something like this will absolutely stand out. Last but not least, Burberry Hero Eau de Parfum. That's the one I would go for, at least as of right now, if I were gonna be recommending a Burberry Hero fragrance. I think the Eau de Parfum is kind of the best of all worlds. Eau de Toilette would be really nice if you're looking for just a really versatile kind of fragrance that's wood forward without being too aggressive. Dior Homme 2020, also very woody, very fresh, very modern, but that one is a little bit more aggressive with the way the woods come across. So if that one doesn't work for you, but you like the idea, Hero Eau de Toilette could be a good one for you. It has 3 different cedars in it, and that one is a little bit easier wearing than Dior Homme 2020, I mean. That said, between the two, which one do I like more personally? Dior Homme 2020, but still. So this still has that cedar from the Eau de Toilette that carries over here. You get benzoin incense, gives it a nice resinous sweetness, a little warmth, again, touch of smoke. Quality's really nice, wearability is there. And I think winter, fall, spring, this one, absolutely great. Daytime or evening, leans a little more toward evening use, but just overall, a solid release. And one that actually gets great compliments, big attention getter. And that's reflected in its sales numbers. It actually sells really, really well, surprisingly so. Because you would think, you know, oh, Hero, that's kind of a flop, at least if you go off the reaction in like the fragrance world. But as far as actual sales, Hero crushes it. So there we go, guys. There are my choices, 10 different fragrances. Again, keeping more of a lean toward fall, wintertime fragrances in general. Richer, warmer, sweeter, deeper, better performance, better projection was kind of the idea. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.